The Red Fern River Lodge in central British Columbia offers some of the best access to lake and river fishing you're going to experience for rainbow trout. You know, we've got an opportunity to fish the Red Fern River. We've got this big lake, Utsa Lake. It's very large, but you can actually hit the creek mouths and key on these big fish. And I'm talking big fish up to, you know, the teen range in poundage. We're going to actually send Brian Chan, he's with us. We're going to send him out to a smaller little lake today to do a little exploring, and me and Dale will be in the big boat checking out the big lake. So it's Red Fern River Lodge as we take you sport fishing on the fly. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that big dome. Hey?
I think it's a technique. I think it's a fisherman.
Some days are good and
Yeah,
some days are better.
a lot better. Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you in part by Islander, builder of world-class fly float and mooching reels. The Frog Boat, inspired by nature, ingenious by design. The Freshwater Fishery Society of British Columbia. Catch what you've been missing. Go fish, BC.
Little guy.
A little guy. Oh yeah, little guys. If there's little guys around, there's gonna be bigger fish around. Hey, look! That's awesome. And that hit the bulldog. That was a little fish hitting that bulldog. Isn't that amazing? That's crazy.
Little rainbow. There he goes. Bulldog.
Bulldog. It is. It's just it's a killer fly. Now, the thing what we do when we always come out is try to change up what we're actually going to fish. So, of course, Dale, the bulldog, he always likes to go with the wet line, tries to fish a clear intermediate sink or a full sink line, and I always like to go with the indicator to start. So we're at a nice little creek mouth, good area to locate some fish, nice shoal area, drops off from, you know, essentially nothing in here out to about 10 feet and then really drops off to 75, 80 feet. So we'll work the shoal, Dale's casting out. I'm just going to drift an indicator with a leech on it. And really right now we're just searching for the fish, see what they're going to hit. And Dale's already got a little guy on the bulldog, so if I ever get ready here, we'll get her going. So Dale, looks like you got a couple on the sink line.
Yeah, full sink.
Oh, it's a nice fish.
Full sink, but they're I'm stripping across the shoal. They're in the shallow. Right. Yeah, they really got some beautiful colors.
So I'm trying the indicator, and that's why we do indicator and we do wet line to see what's going to work. And it looks like and I had one. So they are moving. They're moving in about, I'm thinking 6 to 8 feet of water right now, Dale.
Yeah,
because I just had a hit on the leech, on the indicator. Boy, we're casting into the wind. It's tough right now. Wow. Oh, that's a nice little fish, eh?
Yeah.
How big is
I
that
had
guy?
a real nice, I had one on about 2 or 3 pounds, jumped and got off, and then this
That's
guy.
60 pounds, you know, nice little Nice fish.
This guy's, they're just some really nice colors on these rainbow. Oh, if I can get him. Oh, there, he flipped off.
Oh, he flipped off.
Yeah, anyway, they're really, we get a larger one to hold up. Boy, they're really that long, slender, wild fish strain that's really with Clearwater Lake.
Chrome.
Beautiful colors.
Well, that's good. I might switch over. So you got a full sink.
I got a full
I
and I've got...
might go clear intermediate sink because the indicator, I did have a hit, so I had to test it out a bit more. It's actually really tough for the indicator right now because I'm casting into the wind drifting back. I mean, if we're in a boat and we got a little more depth, it's ideal, but it's pretty tough right now. So I may have to go to the technique Dale's got. I'll probably go to a clear intermediate sink, some that sits around 2 or 3 feet down, because it seems like they're cruising all right in front of us, right in this shallow water. So take a few more casts with the indicator, and then I'm changing over. Oh, man, it's tough. Big cast. Oh. Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. Got him on the reel this time. Nice. Well, it's early yet. We just got out here and it's just fishing this beautiful big shoal area, this big ledge. Casting the bulldog. And this one's nice. This looks like a couple of pounds. Oh yeah, it's beautiful fish. Yeah, he didn't hit that deep, but he definitely wanted it moving. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, well, I'll let you hold him up, right? Hold him up, show everybody. All right, very nice. Kind of skinny, but yeah.
Off you go.
I got one as well.
Yeah, there he goes. This swims away.
Whoa. With the bulldog.
Oh, that's a nice fish, Dale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely more active.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's a real.
Nice fish.
I'll just unbutton him right here.
They seem to be sitting on this deeper water, don't they?
Now he gets spunky again. There he goes. Unbuttoned.
Off he goes.
Excellent. Back to the bulldog.
Another nice one, Dale. They seem to be liking it on the move.
Now I had how many 3 casts? They were hitting it each time, so it's just a matter of they like it just coming off that. Ooh,
oh, he just got off.
they like it coming
There he
off
goes.
that shallow. Just coming off the shallow into the deep. They're just hitting it every time. They're right on that transition. It's perfect. That drift that we're going with the boat just coming ideal, right down the edge of the drop off, and
This is a great flat, too.
yeah.
See, the drop off just keeps going.
But it seemed like every time in the same spot, I was looking at those trees, it's like there's a whole pod of them feeding in there.
So I went to the indicator after, we've got a transition there of 14 feet, drops off to about 25. We're fishing around 40 feet. So as Dale just explained, we're just drifting through. And essentially we got this beautiful shoal, and we're just drifting right along that shoal edge. You can see how it's always shallow and mucky in there. And there's a real nice transition onto the deeper water. So I thought it'd be good to try the indicator. Just try an indicator along here. We've got a lot of midges hatching. There's the odd damsel swimming around. So it makes sense. Of course, I put a leech on to start. Always a good pattern, but I haven't had a hit on it yet. I've tried a couple of casts, so I might have to change it up. Maybe try a small chironomid, maybe try something else like a damsel. But we'll see. Give it a few more shots, and it's in a great zone. We know there's fish here. Oh yeah, not bad. Oh yeah, isn't that great? This is fantastic. Oh yeah. Oh, they're hammering it. You bet. They're just ripping it. Oh,
Oh, they got to be
nice.
all over it. I'm looking for those
Isn't that
mates.
crazy though? We're in a lake this size, catching fish like this. Fantastic. Oh. I love the, oh, there you go, buddy. Long line release. Nope, long line release. All right, let this little guy off. Oh, there it goes. It just spits that barbless hook like nothing. Best way to work this, we're actually at a creek mouth here on Pondozy. So we came to another lake that's accessible with Red Fern Lodge. There's just different ways to work it. So we've dropped some of the boys off to work the creek mouth. And what we're doing is we're just gonna drift around in the boat. And it's a great way to work two different angles. Somebody deeper and somebody in shallow. Because a lot of times the fish will stay out, 20, 30 feet from the creek mouth. And a lot of times they'll come right in. So what we wanna do is, cover a lot of water and try to locate the fish. So this is a really good way. I'm going to try some really quick strips with a white marabou and see if we can find some out here. But Dale caught a little guy in by shore already. So we'll see if we can find him. We'll slowly creep our way over in front of that mouth. Today we're going to tie you up the flesh-eating sculpin. Now it's a great pattern for big fish in lakes or rivers, and what I discovered on Red Fern River Lodge is when we were fishing the creek mouths, there were some big fish sitting there, 6 to 8 pound rainbows. I was able to hook them, but I wasn't able to land them, so make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we'll use a size 6 4x long stainless steel streamer. We'll use some 6/0 red thread to tie with, a 7/32 inch yellow dumbbell eyes for the eyes, some red thread for the butt, small pearl chenille for the body, green crystal flash for the underwing, some golden olive grizzly hackles for the side fins. We'll use some brown ostrich herl to wrap the body, some claret teal flank as a collar, more pearl chenille for the thorax, and to finish off, some white rabbit to imitate the flesh. So I've tied my thread onto the hook, and now I've got my dumbbell eyes. And when you tie the dumbbell eyes, you want them on top of the hook. So we're going to tie this on top, and what it'll actually do is this weighted eyes will pull the fly upside down, so it actually runs along the bottom, and these eyes will bounce along the bottom. So make sure you tie them on the top of the hook, just slightly back from the eyelet, and give them a bunch of figure eights, and make sure you tie them in quite well. You don't want them sliding. Now that my eyes are tied in and they're quite nice and solid, I probably made 30, 40 wraps on those eyes to tie them in. I've moved my thread to the back of the hook, and I'm going to form just a little bit of a red butt on this fly. Just going to wrap in just a little bit of red thread right at the hook shank, right at the hook bend. Move up about 1/4 inch, just so we remain to have a red butt on there. And then I'm going to tie in my pearl chenille that we're going to wrap up and form the body. So tie it in, move my thread forward back to the eyes, and wrap a body in. And make sure you leave the small red butt out the back of the fly. Now that the body's tied in and your thread is back towards the back of the dumbbell eyes, I'm going to take about 5 strands of crystal flash, my green crystal flash, and I'm going to tie it in right behind the eyes. And I want to move them around a little bit. I actually want them underneath on the bottom part of the fly. Because as I said earlier, the bottom of this fly is actually the top. So we want that crystal flash on the bottom of the fly. And I'm going to cut it just past the length of the hook. Now that we have the crystal flash underwing tied in, I'm going to take a couple of long, thicker hackles. So I've got some of my green grizzly hackle here. And I'm going to just pull, see the very tip. I want the very tip of this material. I don't want any of the bottom stuff, just the tip. We're going to tie in one on one side and one on the other. And you want them so they extend just past the length of the hook and no further, just slightly past the hook length. And tie one on each side. Now that we have the side fins tied in, I've taken about 10 strands of my brown ostrich herl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie some on the top and some on the bottom. So I want them about the length, just past the length of those fins we just tied in. So I'll tie some on top and let them splay out a little bit. And then we're going to put tie in another 10 or so on the bottom of the hook. And you want this fly to be fully circled by all the ostrich herl. And more at the bottom. So your whole fly is encased with that ostrich herl. A lot of times I'll just leave the red behind and go up and tie in the rabbit, but a lot of times I like to put in this teal collar. It's actually quite a claret color. So what I'm going to do is tie it in by the tip, and I'm just going to wrap it a few times and put a collar on the fly. And this just accentuates the pattern. After tying in the collar and wrapping my thread back in front of the eyes, I'm going to tie in the final step, and that's a little clump of white rabbit. And this just imitates the flesh, to imitate that the fish has actually picked up a little chunk of something, and he's trying to get away. So we'll wrap that in, and we'll finish off right at the head. So there it is, the finished flesh-eating sculpin. You know, I found this fly on the internet. I went through it and found it very intriguing to try this pattern in the Columbia River first for these big rainbows. I had such good success in the springtime, I also thought I'd try it in some creek mouths or some lakes, and it caught dolly varden, big rainbows, and actually numerous other coarse fish. So it's a great overall pattern. Give it a try.
Can't get over the colors and stuff on them. They're just beautiful.
Oh yeah, nice fish.
You just see some.
Oh, it looks nice and healthy too, doesn't it?
Yeah. And every cast,
Yeah.
just boom, 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 boom.
They're just
being
hanging
brought in there.
right over front of the creek.
Right in there at the creek mouth.
Look at that. There's another gorgeous fish. Look how nice these fish are. Look at the colors. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh yeah, gorgeous fish. There he goes. Nice. And there's fish rising all through here. It looks like we got a potential to get some huge fish out of here. This is fantastic. I'm going out after these big boys. I'll let those guys take those ones. There's some big fish out here. Oh yeah, another nice one. Oh man. Oh, there he goes. These fish are just stacked in here. This is fantastic. Whoa. Oh. Just try to get them off here. They're real pretty. Let these smaller ones go. Try to get the big guys to hold them up. But there's some bigger fish in here. Wow, Dale's seen some big ones from shore. He's commenting that they're just swimming right in by the shallows, so we may just have to kick out here a little more.
Looks like a good one, Brian.
Oh yeah, he could just come out of that milky water there.
Oh, boom. There's just a ton of them in here.
Oh, beautiful spot.
Beautiful. These are some of the prettiest fish I've seen. All the spots, and they almost look like like a kokanee, big kokanee fin almost. Anyway. Good job. Oh, yeah. Well, I think we've had just a few fish in here so
What
far.
you're using, the bulldog.
And look at how mutilated it is.
And I'm using a peacock bulldog.
Just all, yeah.
Unreal. This guy went on a big scream and run. I think they're just stacked all through here. Doesn't matter where you're at. There are some bigger fish in here. We've seen some bigger fish. Now it's just a matter of trying to keep the smaller guys off so the bigger guys can hit. But these, you know, these 12 to 14 inch are so voracious. I'll try to, but there's, oh, there, just got off. I'm gonna let it sink a little bit. I find whenever I let it sink, I get a slightly bigger fish. If it ever makes it through the, you know, those 12 to 14 inches on the top, there's definitely some bigger fish down there. That fish just came out of nowhere, just out of the depths and ate that. Oh, and he just got off. Man, anywhere you cast in here, we're catching fish. It's just crazy. This is fantastic. I think that's a day. It's a take.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know, it was kind of a crazy day, but a very good day. Found this monster shoal, and it was, what is it, 5-10 minutes across the lake from the lodge. It's just a big shoal. We had some sandy areas, and the fish weren't really on the mud, were they?
No,
On that
all
sandy.
wherever the rocks were.
Right, and then we found a nice rocky ridge, and in the rocks, since the wind was really stirring it up, had the nice big hexagenia limbata, the big mayflies coming off, which was outstanding. And as that mayfly hatch was happening, of course, they weren't taking the dry fly, but they were sure hitting our buggers and leeches and anything put in front of them. And we lost some nice ones. We didn't get any of the big guys in.
Yeah, that's always the typical though, right? They slam it, jump in the air. They're real good jumping fish here. Really strong fish.
Really strong fish, and really close to shore too. And of course, that guy's not happy with us back there. The big eagle, it's been following us all day. But I want to thank Ryan, our guide, who did a great job. So anyways, when you come out, take care. Conserve our waters, give Red Fern Lodge a call. They'll set you up. We'll see you next time when we take you sport fishing on the fly. Sport Fishing on the Fly has been brought to you in part by Harborcraft, premium aluminum boats built in Canada. Arctic Adventures, outfitting since 1969. High drift boats, built by fishermen for fishermen.